Hi, and thanks again for joining me on this episode of MTV. Today I'm talking about what not to do when you're creating that outdoor magic. Now, spring's not far away, and many of you might be starting to think about how that backyard renovation might happen, and something you've been putting off for a while. You've saved some money over the winter months, and now's the time to get it ready because you want to enjoy the summer break outside. Our Monsta Pros have actually given us some tips on what not to do if you're going to do a backyard renovation. First one is not to take a piecemeal approach. Now, what we mean by that, it's a big project outside. A lot of people first think that you're going to do a backyard renovation and we'll break it up and we'll do a bit this month and a bit next month. And that's fine if it's for budget reasons. But you need to take a whole piece approach where you know exactly what the plan is, what the final look is going to be, and then reverse it and then start working on it piece by piece. Because what happens is a lot of people underplay the value of the backyard, and then they end up doing it bit by bit, and what ends up happening, they spend more money because they've done one part, and then they realise that those plants or that area, that garden box or that concrete they've laid or the pavers they've got is not going to go, and they've got to change it and match something else, or they totally change the design going bit by bit, and what ends up happening is they botch it and it becomes ugly and it costs them money to fix. And so, like anything, you get it right at the start, it'll save you money in the long run. So you don't want to be changing your ways midway through. So just like a home, no one just puts the concrete down, builds the foundation and goes, what room's going to go there, what room's going to go there. You picture it right from the start, get it that part right, and then work to your budget so you know exactly what that final look's going to be, and you work it that way. The second thing of what not to do is to forget about the value of saleability. A lot of people renovate their backyards and they don't treat it like a bathroom or a kitchen. Now, in Australia, most of our states in the country spend lots of time outside and want to spend lots of time outside, particularly in those warmer months and those warmer nights. And if you treat your backyard like the kitchen or the bathroom and spend that time to it, did you know that if you're in the right area, the way you work that backyard renovation is going to lift the value of your home? And so take that in careful consideration, because if you put some care and thought into it, it's like when someone comes to value the place, they look at the main rooms inside, they look at a backyard that's functional and looks really good or fairly sexy, and that's going to lift the value of your home. So take that into account. Don't just underplay the backyard where it might be a place where you're dumping some bikes in the garage and you've got a few pavers and a bit of greenery. Give it some thought and plan it out well, and think about what might happen if you were to sell them one day and where that value lies, because you'll find that that's an untapped piece to work on. And these days, external areas, backyards, are adding more value to homes. The other thing that you do not do is fail to get approvals. If you're going to work outside, don't underestimate that you may need council approvals on things. And every state and every region and shire can be different. You're building a gazebo, a pergola, you might be adding, a pool's an obvious one, but if you're doing fish ponds or water features or whatever it might be, check on that. And you want to check on it firstly because you don't want to end up with a fine, and secondly you want to check on it because you need to plan it, because if you need approvals it could delay the timing of what you're trying to do around the place. You might have organised all these other things that come along to get the renovation done and find that at the last minute you didn't get an approval, someone's told you need to get one, and it can delay everything and that can cost more. That professional advice at the start, guys, is so important. Failure to plan is a plan to fail. And so that planning piece is important. If you need advice, there are professionals out there. As I said, these three tips came from our Monsta Pros that look after backyards and renovations, and they're real critical ones. And there's a lot more advice that our Monsta Pros can give you on that. So if you'd like to know more about it, check out the website on the Monsta Pros. We'll give our Monsta crew a free call. They'll give you a 10-minute consult and guide you on what you might need for your backyard magic. Until next time, I'll see you then, and I want to see lots of photos of that backyard.